If you guys are done, you can type in the chat box so that we will know. We're still getting a lot of responses. Yeah, we have quite varied responses.
So how many participants are there, Obli?
There are
Because
about 24, including you and me. So 22 should have come. But
okay,
it looks like there are much more responses than
yeah,
the total. Uh, yeah. So, but we do have the
okay then.
responses.
So we will, yeah. So it's done.
Yes, yes, Krishna, we can proceed, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So what we see here is that majority have voted for a lack of experience, and I don't have the right tools. Okay. So here is the game. So the thing is, nowadays we have like a common notion that innovation always comes down to tools and experiences, right? But what I would like to talk, especially today, is about resources and innovation. Like these days, innovation has become synonymous with fab labs, 3D printers, and laser cutters. But then that's not the case, right? Because all you need is the creativity and the intention to solve a problem. And regarding skills, again, so in terms of skills and experience, what I've seen so far with children is that they learn quite intuitively, right? Because as parents, as adults, probably would have seen that children have, like very little conditioning compared to adults. We have, as children, they have very less conditioning that they're not limited by a particular way of solving problems. So that gives that edge and the advantage to children that, that's the reason why we call children as creative, right? So that's what I've seen so far. And in terms of other reasons, would like to explain. I can see 5 votes. So if you can explain the chat so that we can discuss shortly about that.
Okay, so those of you who voted for other reasons, can you just raise your hand so that I can unmute you to explain your reasons? Okay, Guru. Yes, Guru, you can go ahead. Then I'll come to you, Yuvan. Guru, you can say.
Anna, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
Guru, yes.
I usually try to solve my problems with my dad. Like recently, I wanted to travel with my camera in my cycle, so we built a strap and we attached it to my camera bag so I can take it everywhere. That's the reason I said other reasons. I didn't have any reason to not do things.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Thank you, Guru.
Okay, thank you, Guru. Yuvan, yes, you can go on, Yuvan.
I chose other reasons because normally I don't normally if there's a problem I will solve it by myself.
Okay, Yuvan, can you give me one example of like something that you've done so that will be
Like one time when one time when I just one time when the computer sound went off, I didn't know how to fix it. Then I found out how to fix it. Like you just have to, and I found out how to fix it.
Okay, Yuvan, thank you so much. So you fixed your own computer's audio. Then Krishna, we have one more person. Hamsini, yes, you can.
So I chose other reasons because sometimes we may have a really good idea, but it's kind of like tools, but we Either we're not there to solve the problem, or we don't have the materials to solve it. So that could be an issue.
Okay. Is there anybody else who would like to, who typed in other reasons? No. Krishna, that's all, Krishna. I think they are.
Like as you guys rightly said, and it just feels great to hear that most of you have tried to solve problems. And as you have experienced, it's not of the tools or the materials that is available to us, but the intention that we need to solve it, right? So that's what matters a lot. But answering to a few more questions about materials and lack of tools and experiences. I would like to share with what I've learned so far with children and with innovation. So basically, tools is just a means to end, right? Having a 3D printer or a laser cutter doesn't mean that you can become an innovator. So say these robotic classes or coding classes and all such things, like, so they are just skills to um, make your ideas to tangible form, but creating ideas is what matters. So this is what I wanted to talk in short, and I would like to share an experience in Lobby, where I was working as a school teacher for a year in 2015 to 16, that period, and still continue to engage with the children there. Okay, so Lobby started as an experiment with a simple question in mind: what if children could lead the frontiers of design and innovation? So because like I had gone there as a product designer, trying to solve their problems of the village, trying to build some kind of water conveyance devices and sorts. But what I observed was that the people could not relate to the innovation that I had created for them, because I couldn't understand the entire context of the village. Because as like say as an example, if you are from a particular area in your city, so you would know better what works, what doesn't work, and what kind of resources you would get. And said that this village is a very a remote tribal village, and accessibility of resources was very scarce. So in such a case, I was trying to involve adults as anyone else would do, an engineer. But then what happened was that like as I said, like they were not as creative as children. So children are more unconditioned to solve problems, right? So then we started a makerspace in the village, and the main aspects that we had observed was that in terms of community empowerment, because like whatever children learned at school, it was more towards a particular domain, a particular subject, like mathematics, physics, geography, chemistry, biology, and things like that. But then in real life, it's not that, right? Because you have an intermix of all these disciplines. So what happened gradually was that when children started to build simple things, like just like toys and models to explain concepts at school, so they started to slowly show an bend of mindset towards solving their own communities issues. So no longer it was an adult's problem, but more of what they can also solve. So by then they started co-creating with the adults of the village, say an electrician or a plumber or a blacksmith in the village. So they started to explain ideas to them and get things done. But then later on, we had our own tools and machinery so that they can build solutions whatever they want. And in terms of ownership, I think that's very important, right? Say if you're going to build a small sand tower or something of that sort, like you're putting in all the efforts, like a child. I mean, as a youngster, if you're trying to build something, then what happens is like you have an ownership, right? Like this is mine and this is what I built. I put so much effort. So that ownership over the problems of the village. Say, one of the students had built a firewood carrier because the women in these villages used to carry firewood on their heads so that they can cook. But then the problem was that they had to carry the heavy weights on their heads, and it was paining for the mothers. So, in a effort to solve it for their own mothers, they had built a simple firewood carrier, like probably which I'll be showing shortly. And another aspect of the makerspace in its purpose was to become very adaptive and agile, meaning that it was more on experimentation and the failures that they learned from. So this is our makerspace, and they hold weekly meetings where they discuss what issues they have found so far in the village and how they could solve it together with whatever they have. And they also have a few tools of planning. So they plan every week in terms of what projects they're going to build next and sorts. So this is a very good example of what they have built to impact the people around them. So like once an electrician had to come to install an electricity meter in our space, and he had difficulty in to climb the poles. And so these youngsters that you see here, the children, they had built this pole climber with just steel plates, and the electrician could easily climb up the poles. And like you can of course see the pride and excitement in their faces, children. So I think this is a video. I can this can give you a short glimpse of what we do at Beehive. Please let me know if the audio is there.
Yes.
मॉडल्स बनाए हैं। इसमें से सब मॉडल हमारे गांव में उसका आइडिया हमने डिस्कस किया और सोचा, और हमारी टीम के साथ मिलके उसको बहुत डिस्कस किया। तो 10 या 8 या 9 महीने तक उसको रखा और उसका यूज़ किया, ताकि हम जान सकें कि उसमें कौन सी प्रॉब्लम आ रही है।
And more interestingly, what has evolved out of the space is that like these children also build products which can be sold in the market. So like recently, maybe last week or so, like they built a shoe stand, and they've seen that it is in much demand in the village, and so with the money earned, they are also trying to fund other projects. So basically, this is a self-sustaining innovation hub in the village. And after we left in 2018, since then it has been run entirely by children. So there is no adult to kind of supervise or to bring materials to them, but they're just using whatever materials they find around the village. And few projects like this chula that you see here, so it has gone into production in terms of so there are communities of women called women self-help groups. So they take up these products and they manufacture and sell. So far 600 units of this product has been sold in the villages around Lobi. So this is what has been happening in Lobi. And we also have Pratik and Sadish from Lobi exclusively for you, who can share their experiences so far. Pratik?
Yes, I'll ask them to unmute. Just give me a moment. Pratik. Yes, Pratik and Satish, you guys can share your experiences.
Yeah. Hello everyone. I am Pratik and I am one of the student of TIU. And currently I have completed the 1 year software engineering course at Novorkul. From DIU I got the scholarship for Novorkul, and then I got to know about that, and I have done the course of there. And in lockdown I am working with some simple project like the shoe stand, and we made that one for our home family problem, because in family we are putting our shoes and slippers anywhere. So for that we made one shoe stand, and our nearby some people saw that and they also said that we also want this one, and so we are taking some fees from them for our next project, and we are making that one.
Very interesting, Pratik. That was very nice. Can you show that what you said? Can you show us the model that you say that you made? Is it there with you?
Model? Yeah, that model. It is in Satish home right now, but we don't have. We have the material now, but
Okay.
We don't have that model right now.
Pratik, can you show you probably can turn on the video and show our space and what we have built so far.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Pratik, probably you can explain like one of the projects. What do you have?
Hello?
Like, so I'm just saying that you can probably explain one of the projects there.
Okay. So we have to
Say that.
explain that. Project explain.
Fairwood Career, can you explain?
Okay, we are explaining one of the project. Which one? Okay, we are explaining this project. We made a surface. In this project, we are getting a problem of a space, because in our house we are not getting enough space to study and painting also. So we created this surface, and in this surface we can study. Study also, and sleep also, and we can painting also.
Can you point the camera to that table?
This is hello.
Yes, we're not seeing the table.
Yeah, like this.
Can you show the? Yeah, now we can see. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that is very, very lovely.
Okay. Yeah, like this. Yeah, like this we can sleep also, and yeah, and
Very
for
interesting.
thinking or fitting also we can like for a painting we can put our card and paint also like this. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
That was fantastic, Pratik and Satish. I enjoyed it. That was lovely. Krishna, these guys have done a wonderful job.
So probably we can have like a short Q&A session for the kids. I mean, if someone wants to interact with them, and then we can.
Yeah. So, any of you want to ask any questions to Pratik and Satish, you can raise your hand. If you want to ask them some questions, please raise your hand. I'll ask you to unmute yourself. I have one question to them, but if any of you have, you can ask. Then I'll ask my question. Okay, so I'll ask my question. Satish and Pratik, how do you come up with these ideas? Like you change this space into a sleeping space, a painting board, or even for you to do your work, homework, or whatever, like classwork. Now, how do you get these ideas? Why did you get this idea? You could have done something else also, right? But how this particular idea comes to your mind? You understood my question? How do you get idea? Where is your idea coming from generally? I'll unmute you. Just give me a moment. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so we are getting less space to study in our home and sleeping also. So for that we are not getting enough space to our home. So for that we have created that one. So simply we can study and we can painting and sleep also.
Okay, that is one example. But generally, throughout the year, where do you get ideas from to make this one or that one? Do you get the problems from the village, or your where do you get
Yeah.
the ideas from?
Yeah, so I'm telling that we are getting this problem from our home also, and we saw some this same problem to our friends also and villages like that.
That is lovely to know that you are solving the problems of your village itself by getting it there. Thank you. And how long do you normally take? How long to make this? For example, this project, how many days or how many months you take to do this one project?
Oh, so we firstly collect the waste material from the that shop, that waste shop, and we collect that waste material and which one we want, we can get from there. And if we want some other things like that, yeah, plywood also. So we are buying that one, and it will take. Yeah, it yeah. So we are getting that one from that waste material from. So we didn't get more time to do that.
More time. Oh, okay. Few days said, you said 2 to 3 days. I didn't hear you properly. To make this entire thing, 2 days, 3 days to make this.
So yeah, we can do it in one day, but for collecting the other material, that
Okay,
for that
then
we are getting more
okay.
time, because nearby our village we don't have any city, and yeah, that one we don't have any city nearby, so we have to
Okay.
go
Get the materials.
much far.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
I think I loved your space. I at some point in time I want to come there. Krishna, if it is possible, I would like to visit that place also. Yeah, it was lovely. Yes.
And I think we also have a question, right, from Bharatram. Hello. Hello, Obili.
Sorry. I think I was under mute. So sorry. Bharat, please ask your question, Bharat. Yes, sorry, Bharat. Yeah, go on.
My question was the same question you asked. How they get the idea from? Where they get the idea?
So they get their idea from their village, from their friends. They have a problem. They have a common problem. They want to solve it, and they sit inside this room and they solve it. They don't wait for others to solve their problems. They solve their own problems. So they get their idea from the village and friends. I think that's what both of them told me. It's very interesting to know it, Krishna. Yes, I'm in like really inspired by this.
And Pratik and Satish, probably you can also explain about what other things you've been doing in this period. You know, like for the past year, you've been teaching other children also, right?
That is great to know. You can share your experiences. Yeah.
Okay. So nowadays we are free in home because of lockdown. So we are teaching to our friends or some students. Like I am teaching coding because I have completed the 1-year course in Navagurukul. So I am teaching a little bit coding like Python and HTML, CSS to some students like who are interested. And Satish is teaching algebra mathematics class. So he got a scholarship for 11th and 12th at Latur. So he had completed his 12th, 11th and 12th. So his math is so strong. So that's why he's taking classes to teaching someone like he can also learn more.
That is wonderful. One of you is teaching algebra, one of you teaching coding. Lovely to hear these things, Satish and Pratik. Yeah, I would really like to visit you guys someday. Yes. Krishna, yes.
So, I mean, if you and also if you guys have any questions for me, we can have this discussion on. I mean, you know, because I think it's good to have a interactive session rather than just talking.
Yes, participants, if you have any question, I'm sure you will have questions. Please ask Krishna Anna about your questions. Can you guys raise your hand so that I will? Okay, Bharatram has another question. Just give me a moment, Bharat, I'll unmute you. Others, please, if you have any questions around innovation, design, and based on what Krishna Anna spoke today, you can ask him. Bharat, yes, what is your next question? Bharat, you can unmute. I've asked you to unmute. Okay, Srinivas, you can ask Srinivas. Yes, go on.
Krishna sir, so basically these like all this technology and innovation for like found by these people, like the materials for it, like where do they like source it from? Do they like source it from like recycling centers, or do they like get it locally?
Yeah, sure. So it depends on the material they want to choose. Say if they want bamboo or wood, they would source it from the village itself. I mean, they would have bamboo trees and like other sources, right? Like they would just take the permission, the owner, and they'll just try to source it from there. And in terms of metal, as Pratik was and Satish were saying, they would source it from the waste shop. Like there are these shops. So it's not a recycling center per se, but it's like a waste shop where they hand over old stuff, right? So they So it's like a junkyard kind of.
So my question is that do you build many prototypes before getting into the final model, or you get
Okay, so basically in our design process, what is really important is to prototype and validate our assumptions. So I'll just quickly take you through the design process that we follow at Dhive. So first we start with the idea. I mean, first we start with the problem. Okay. So understanding the problem is very essential to have an idea, or else we will bring in our own assumptions, right? Or understanding the problem by talking to the people. Okay. So that's how it starts. And then we try to build something called as minimum viable prototypes, MVPs. So MVPs are not any kind of product or any kind of prototype, like tangible prototype already, but it's just very simple ways of explaining the idea or understanding for yourself. Say, if you want to make a shoe stand, they don't immediately build it with metal and do welding and all. So they start with some kind of sticks or like bamboo sticks or some kind of cardboard, and then see, okay, this is the structure and this is the size I want. And then they also test it with the people, with users. Okay. And then they go on to decide and iterate, because the people is going to say, okay, maybe this is too huge or too small, or I need more racks or more drawers or whatever, right? So first they build it because it's cheap way of identifying what is actually needed. And then they go on to build the actual prototype. So for that, they source these materials. So that's how this process works.
Thank you. And what is the first model they built?
One of the first models they built was a pedal-powered washing machine. So which is still there at the space, right? Pratik and Satish, can you show that washing machine, please?
Yes, I'll ask them to unmute just a minute.
And also turn on your video, please. Yeah. Pratik?
Yes. Pratik, we still can't see you.
Hello?
Yes, can you show the washing machine? Yes.
Yeah.
How does it work?
Yeah, that's the laptop. I'll let you know how to. Yeah, so this is washing machine we built with one cycle and one drum. So how it's working, like we can use it like for while jogging also. So open karna. Yeah, so inside this one we have a small drum.
It was a drum within a drum. And then it has a chain linkage, so that whenever you pedal in the cycle and then it turns inside. Yeah.
It's wonderful, guys.
Oh.
So you just put in the clothes inside, and then when you pedal, it's gonna rotate in water, which is essentially the same principle of a washing machine.
Wonderful. Yes, you can rotate and show us. Yeah. Okay, it's gonna spin. Yes. Of course, we can't see the spinning because it's inside, but it's lovely.
So how does the wastewater go out?
So they have a tap beneath. Pradeep, can you show the tap maybe underneath the ground? Yeah, it's there. Can you see that?
We saw one tap at the bottom.
Yeah.
That is for the exit of water. Great work, guys. Satish and Pratik and everybody else who is involved in it. Superb.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, Guru, you had a question, right, Guru? You can go on, Guru.
Sir, how do you think great ideas are made?
I think great ideas come from a a great understanding of the problem itself. So I think that is the way for it. And also in terms of the process that you're using for it, right? Because I would say more than the tools used, the process of design is very important. Because what happens to the way we think as a human mind, right? We tend to wander around, right? Because say immediately what comes to our mind when we are given a problem, or someone around you says, okay, say the same problem of washing, right? And then immediately you start thinking of ideas, which is a very limiting experience, because you wouldn't know what exactly to solve. So is it the okay? So the problem is it actually washing, or is it the problem of the way they sit to wash, or is it the problem that there is no enough water? So instead of understanding these things, if you're gonna just start with ideas, I think that is gonna fail. Or I wouldn't say fail. Maybe you can build a product, but which nobody will want to use. So I think that's how great ideas are born.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishna. We have another question from Srinivas. Yes, Srinivas.
Anna, I forgot to lower my hand. I don't have any more questions.
Okay, you forgot to lower your hand. Okay, right. Krishna, I have a question. Okay, kids, if you have questions, please do raise your hand. Please do don't feel shy to ask questions. Please do raise your hands. In the meantime, Krishna, I have a question. By looking at these models and the projects that the kids are working on, there is a difference between growing up in a village and for these kids. For example, most of our students who are in the cities, they have access to washing machine, so their kind of problems are very different from the problems faced by someone who is in a village. So can you just give us a walkthrough of how it is to be in a city and a kid growing up in a city with access to things? So does it make a kid more lazy or less motivated to find problems and find solutions being in a city? So still it is possible for someone like that?
Okay, so that is a very interesting question, Obali. Thanks for that. So okay, so firstly, in terms of being in a city, of course, most of your basic needs are already met. But then that doesn't qualify that we don't have problems around us, because we have a very different set of problems in the city, right? Probably because we have a lot more resources. Maybe in terms of a rain, when there's a lot of rain during monsoon, there is flooding, and like the common problems of plastic disposals, and in terms of how certain things are made. I mean, made in the sense not only as a product innovation, but also as a service innovation. Because maybe you would have noticed that, especially when it comes to plastic waste more than as a product solution, what is required is a service solution, right? Like, and when I meant by service solution, is more like a process of who handles the plastics, who disposes of them. So say the recycling center is far away, or maybe it's not available locally, then what is to be done? So all these kind of things is also a problem, right? And also another subject I want to bring in is about the tools that we have. So though we have access to a lot of tools in the cities, like 3D printing and not only 3D printing, basically more kind of manufacturing, or more of a rapid prototyping tools. Even though, even with those, the way we think and the way we use our processes matters a lot. And this can solve everyday problems around us. So does this answer your question, Obali, or am I even going in the direction?
No, it does answer my question, Krishna. But also another part of the question was how motivated, the motivation is a factor to solve problems. So there are some kinds of problems that are definitely needed. For example, having a washing machine where you have no access to a washing machine, there is a need that will drive you, a sort of a fire within you to solve a problem. A similar thing seems to be missing in the students who are in the city. Like, they it is more of like, you look for something, and if you find a problem, you solve it. So how do you bring in that motivation that there is definitely a need and I have to solve this problem? The fire that somehow I see it is lacking in the students who are used to city life.
Okay, right. Makes sense. So I would say they can start with just everyday problems around them. Like, it can become like, like their mothers facing an issue with long hours of cooking, or they're just standing while cooking, or they're again standing while washing dishes. Like these are some kind of drudgery that our mothers or our parents face, right? Maybe they can start with that. So so I would say that of course there is a change in the dynamics of needs, but then I wouldn't still say that we don't have any problems, right? I mean, so I mean, in terms of lazy, I wouldn't call it lazy, but probably the children are also very bombarded by a lot more options in the city, right? So
Yes, yes. I think what you're trying to say is like they're overburdened by so many other things that
Lot of
would
choices.
otherwise. That is an interesting point, Krishna. Now, on the same lines, would it be a good dynamics when the kids from a city and the village meet and solve a problem together? Some sort of arena or a forum where that is a possibility. For example, some of the students from the city can spend a month at, let's say, Beehive Hub or any other makerspace to work with the village kids and try to come up with ideas, share ideas, and solve. Will that be of how will the dynamics look like when that happens?
This is like a concept that we have been thinking for quite some time, and if it's possible, that will be great. So what I would think is, from this is like beneficial for on both ends, right? Because urban kids can learn how local, I mean, like a local resource can be made. Say like how a bamboo ladder or like bamboo joinery is made. So the urban kids can learn that, and the rural kids can learn about a lot more things about exposure, about robotics or Arduino or electronics and things like that, right? I mean, so that can definitely be a synergy of learning between them.
Thank you, Krishna. Kids, how many of you would like to, be in a situation where you would want to, like, collaborate and work? It is very interesting to me. I will definitely go there. How many of you are interested? So by knowing you guys, we can go and we can explore a month or so being there and, enjoying and learning things together. So we already have few people, I mean, more people saying that. Okay, Krishna, I think we can arrange for a small project where some of these kids can definitely visit the space and see if something can be done together with the kids there. So we will take that forward. I'll get connected with you, Krishna. So so someone's saying I would prefer 2 months. Okay, that is just lovely to know. Any more questions you guys have? Kids, if you have questions, please do ask them. And Krishna Anna has not shared like a lot of his experiences because for the lack of time, but he's got various experiences in various forums and he's done so many other work. But I think we'll get to hear from you, Krishna, and maybe in the future sessions. And probably we'll get to spend more time with you also, the students. Okay. So yes, Krishna, I think the kids don't have any more questions. If you would like to share the final thoughts or on the design innovation and you'd like to say any advice, not advice per se, but advice, but like to share some of your thoughts to them. Yes.
So, one thing majorly I would want to share with you all is that please don't get limited by thoughts of saying I don't have skills or tools, because That's like a fantasy that we get slipped into, right? Because me being a designer and engineer myself, and like ever since childhood I've been building things. But then what I have slipped into myself is that fantasy that I can build things, right? um, like making great gadgets or great electronics projects and showcasing, all that is great, okay. But then what fundamentally is required for us to solve real life problems is that we need to think from other shows. And like that others can be anyone. It can be the people on a street, or it can be your sister, brother, mother, father. But then try to think from their shoes and try to understand, because that is a very difficult thing. Okay, like I just want to stress on that, because I did my master's in product design, and I had come from an engineering background. Okay, it was very difficult to do that, because as an engineer I would like to, I would always try to just solve things, build solutions, that's it, right? But then that's not how it works in the real world. Okay, say if you're gonna make a shoe for yourself, okay, so unless you are gonna take the measurement of your feet and then try to make a shoe, like only that then it works, right? So it doesn't mean that you're gonna 3D print a shoe or laser cut a shoe. But then it really means what you want to actually build. So please understand that first. And there's a lot of design thinking processes that you can find online, and you can always reach out to me. I can share my contact details to Vanna, and you can always contact me for, if you have any ideas and if you want to take kind of support in terms of taking it forward. So how can you do? So yeah, so this is what I wanted to stress on, that empathy and trying to understand from other shoes, and then trying to solve something. That is very key, not only now as a student, but even in your future. Like, and this is not limited by products or services or kind of innovation that you build, okay? But it just applies to everything that you do. So, and please remember that creativity is not about painting or building products or robotics or coding, but creativity is just everywhere. It just means in the way you arrange your room, or the way you arrange your bed, the way you write, like everything's creativity. So don't get limited by definitions. Don't get limited by others saying that, okay, you need a garage, you need a DIY, you need a like a Lego Mindstorms to learn coding. No, nothing like that. So, and learning nowadays, it has become so broad that all you need to know is the way to learn and not what to learn. So don't get limited by what others say. So that's what I wanted to say, Obli and others.
Thank you, Krishna. I think that was very well said, and I'm sure students will take it in, and I'm sure they will start working on their ideas and innovations. And we will definitely get in touch with you, Krishna. And that's a project being there with the students in the village is still it's very, very tempting, and we will work on it. And students, the participants of this session, if you'd like to say thank you, you can type in the chat. If you like the session, say you can type in the thank you, or probably I can give them an option to unmute themselves and say their feedback. Just give me a moment.
And if you can also say what you liked, what you didn't like, so that would be great.
Yes, you can. I basically given you the opportunity to unmute yourself, so you can say what you liked and which part you didn't understand. Yes, you can talk.
It was totally amazing, sir. I enjoyed that. I had the idea of Obliana that we who live in the city and they who live in the village should have a collab. And I thought if they were given all those very high tech instruments we have access to in the cities, they'll go really ahead of us because they do stuff which we don't without the stuff we have. So they're awesome. Hats off. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Guru. We'll do that. Others, please share your comments. Yes, Bharat.
I love the presentation the most. The table and the washing machine, those things. and I also want to make some of them. It catches me into making some of them. I just don't know why.
Sure, it's natural, Bharat. You should feel like that. It's natural. So we will get it done.
Anna, can you send photos of the folding table?
Yes. Krishna, you can send it to me, Krishna. I'll share it with them. Krishna, your voice has suddenly become low. Wait. Not able to hear. Is everybody else able to hear?
Audible now?
Yes. Yes. Better. Yes.
Very feeble now, though.
Suddenly, like towards the end, the microphone has played like villain here.
Hope it's audible now.
Yes. Very feeble. Yes. You can talk, Krishna.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So, Krishna, you wanted to say something, and did I stop you?
No.
No. Okay. Okay. Anybody else? You want to say something about whether you like the session and which part you like the most and which you didn't like or didn't understand? You guys can unmute yourself and say it. Because I've given the option to unmute, I guess. Yes, you can unmute yourself. Or if it's a simple thank you if you want to say for the session, you can do that and sign off.
Yeah, thank you, Obli. This is Vivek here.
Hi, sir. Hi, Vivek, sir. How are you?
Yeah, doing great. And Mr. Krishna's session was also wonderful. And it's really inspiring to know the kids are really jubilant nowadays. It's very nice. And I should thank the Mango team also for organizing this program. And I think, Mr. Krishna, if you're listening, I'm a parallel similar thinker of your sort only, and hope to have some kind of parallel wavelength thoughts shared with you later, sir.
Sure. I think we can all get connected, sir, and take this, discuss ideas. Yes. Thank you so much. I didn't know you were there. Sorry. It's nice to have you here. Yeah. Thank you. Others, you would like to unmute yourself? It's like someone somehow feels like to be in a classroom and a teacher asking a question and none of you respond. Like just so much of nostalgia there. Okay. Okay, so I should call out names. Okay. Satvika, would you like to say something? Okay. Okay, guys, then I think we can all say a big thank you to Krishna for spending his time and showing us the work done by the kids. It was very inspiring. You can type in the chat box. That's more convenient, I guess, for you guys. I think you can read the chat box, Krishna. They're typing in their messages. Thank you. Yes. We'll be signing off in 2 minutes. You guys can say thank you and then sign off. Yes. Krishna, and you can also be here for a minute and look at the messages and then sign off.
And I'm also sharing my website and my contact.
Please do put it in the chat box. Yes. Guys, Krishna shared his website on the chat box and also email ID. Anyway, I'll be sharing them also to you, but you can make a note of it. He's shared it on the chat box.
Bye, Anna.
Bye. Yes. Okay, Krishna, I think we can wind up. Okay, there's someone talking. Sorry. Okay. Yes, Krishna, I think everybody is done. We can sign off. Thank you so much, Krishna. We'll get connected soon again. I'm still not able to hear you, Krishna. Some problem with your microphone. Maybe you can type in the chat. Type in the chat box so that we can see.
Bye, sir.
Bye.
Bye. So nice.
Sorry, Krishna. I think bye bye. Okay, so Krishnana says thank you, everyone. He's got a problem with his microphone towards the end, but he says thank you. So thank you very much, Krishna.
Bye, sir.
Bye bye. They're just logging off. Okay. Okay. That's Badri and Priscilla. Bye, guys, both of you. Okay. Okay, Krishna, I think that was a lovely session. I don't think I'm able to hear you though. Varun, are you able to hear, or is it just me? Because sometimes my computer also makes this comes up with this weird problems. Varun? Okay,
Am I being audible now?
Yes, now it is very clear, Krishna. Yeah. Again, it went off. I mean, there is some problem. Am I audible? You asked. That was clear. And then after that, just poof, went. I couldn't hear you anymore. Okay. Probably it could be to do with, maybe you can tie with the earphones if you have. I don't know. It's yes. Okay, Krishna, done. We can catch up. Yes. Thank you. I'm ending the session.
Hello?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
One Ambika பேசுறேன்.
Yes.
நான்
சொல்லுங்க
actually இந்த செஷன் மிஸ் பண்ணிட்டேன். 2 minutes.
சொல்லுங்க மேம். எஸ்.
ஒரு 2 minutes ஏதாச்சும் சொல்ல முடியுங்களா இந்த செஷன் என்ன இருந்தது அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு?
மேம் இந்த என்டையர் செஷன் யூடியூப்ல இருக்கு மேம். நான் ஃபுல் செஷனுமே யூடியூப்ல லைவ் ஸ்ட்ரீம் பண்ணிட்டோம். சோ யூடியூப்ல நான் உங்களுக்கு லிங்க் அனுப்புறேன், நீங்க அத போய் ஃபுல்லா பார்க்கலாம். The entire session is there.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Thank you ma'am. Yes, bye. Yeah. Bye. Yes. I think if I can finally turn on my video also. I didn't turn on my video. Anyway, bye. Yes.